Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back for some more foundation. In today's video, well, I think we are gonna be able to unlock all of the final unlocks that are available in the game at the moment, and this is where we're also at this point bumping into the edge of the development of the game so far. For instance, I unlocked the hunter's hut, but that doesn't do anything. It actually doesn't produce leather and doesn't produce deer at this point. A quick update perhaps on the monastery as well, but before that let's do what I need to do to unlock the weaponsmith. That is, I need to get to 40 splendor for the king, and I'm at 35 by building a couple of keeps. So let's also build like a watchtower here at the edge of the island, and you just go here, grab the wooden keep, let's put up a core, and I think we're gonna go, maybe we'll, no, actually, yeah, we'll turn this around actually, so that the stairs or the entrance, which is one lock-on point here, is actually set away from danger. Then the wooden tops, actually you can see 1 gold maintenance, 3 gold and 5 gold maintenance, but you also get a lot more splendor for that. So we're definitely putting this top on here. Another thing that you might want to do, I like to put in a couple of training dummies, of course, just to keep these warriors busy. So let's put them right here in front of the keep, so we get some training dummies. This doesn't cost anything, it also doesn't really do anything except that it gives the soldiers a place to practice. But then what is actually really important is this, the decorative flag. Look at it, two what's it called here, 2 woolen cloth is all it needs, but it gives you 0.20 splendor. And so basically, in order to get to the 40 quickly and efficiently, what you might want to do is just spam that a little bit. So for instance, we can put one on every corner for sure. So we're gonna put a decorative flag here, there. Well, it's fish. Let's assist the king, yes, and finish. Let's put the flags up, and this together doesn't cost any maintenance, but it does increase your splendor by another 1. And just to make sure that we're okay, we're actually gonna put even more of them. Just dot them around the place, like that. And if you really want to, if you don't know what you should do, then just go like this, I guess. Decorative flag. We'll just put more of them. We'll put more of them, just to make sure that I get to that 5 splendor. But you can actually see that here, this is at plus 6.3 splendor, should be plenty to bring us from 35 to 40, which will then be the final unlock. So we'll even get rid of these, I guess. Oops, keep it here, get rid of these 2. That's still 5.7, should be enough. Let's start that construction. And this goes decently quickly, just some planks and some cloth at this point, so that's quite okay. Next up, you can see in order to get there, I executed my plan. Look at this nice little set of keeps, a nice fort basically to protect our border. And then what we will need after that, of course, is potentially a bridge over to this side. And then, you know, if we really want to go ham on this build, we can develop our town that way as well. But back here you can see that we have developed quite nicely into a decently good sized town. And then I also built this monastery that is producing stuff, just not super quickly, to be honest. So one thing to know actually is that all the monks need to be males, and so I had more capacity and I kept clicking, and they just wouldn't become monks. Well, they don't take females, and as a result that is the reason why. But perhaps you can't. I'll deploy my troops. Alright, let's open this one. Let's just put in 5 soldiers, maybe add some novices, send them, there we go. That's good to go. But what I was saying, yeah, if you're stuck and if you're wondering if you have capacity but you can't concede a villager to the monastery, it's because they have to be males. First thing that I noticed is that stuff like the let's see here, what's down here, the beeswax, the honey, And the herbs, well, you just need some people to produce them, so that goes decently well. And I think it also fills this need for luxury products. And you also, I did have to add a second building back here. You can just do that with the edit button, because I needed another living quarter so that I could get my capacity from 6 to 12. So just one of these allows you to have 6 monks, which is not enough to have the herbalist filled, the vintner, the beekeeper, and then also the vine growers. To have everything filled, that doesn't work. So what I did, I built an extra building to give me 6 extra capacity, and then I actually built another, what is this one, beekeeper? Yep, beekeeper, to increase my production of the honey, and then hopefully we can keep selling that. But I think for the wine production, it's actually a little bit more complex, of course, because they need both grapes, which we have plenty of, but then also barrels, and that then starts to go into, you need wood, you need iron, you need all of that stuff. I'm producing them here, it's just not fast enough. Finding the balance is not easy, but potentially you can have a monastery that focuses on each of these products, for instance. That is definitely possible. 6 of them. So maybe a small one with a big vineyard, or with double the crew, and then 3 vineyards potentially, something like that. And then 6 is actually really good for herbalists and for the beekeepers. You can focus on that. That is probably a more effective way of doing this. Let's see, what about these unemployed villagers? Was there still, I think I still needed someone here in order to sell stuff. And that's just a tip. Definitely, if you want to increase the habitability, it's not just the wells that are doing it, but it is definitely also, if you take a look at residential, the markets, you can see that gives a very big buff on desirability for people to live as well. And so this big market here that actually sells everything that I'm producing is really having a big impact, and people just came to live here. So that allows you, next to of course painting the residential zone, to decide which way you want your let's go like that, your town to develop. For instance, here I didn't want more stuff around this forest or in this direction, so I built this big market, and now my town has expanded towards this place where I'm also cutting down trees, burning it to charcoal, and I did the experiment with the hunter's hut, but that is not developed at this point. So all we need now is to wait for this keep to be built. It just needs a little bit more work. So basically this poor guy is at it alone, but that's quite alright. And if we look at the rest, well, what's quite noticeable here is that my clothes are going back down yet again, while we have plenty of wool and a decent amount of woolen cloth. And so at this point I think I can very easily maybe fill that up here a little bit, although we already have one here. Or we could try to go back here, but yeah, we have that there as well. And then back here, we're doing okay. I think we're just gonna try to fill this place. So what I want is a definitely a tailor's workshop. Let's put this guy here, and then also a weaver's hut, which we'll put here. That should create an extra road this way, and it should help with this problem. Food-wise, honestly, I decided on making a decently large farm here, and that is very easily keeping my bread above 500 at this point. When it comes to the fish, we've dropped a little bit to 830, so we are consuming a decent amount of them. But you can, like you see here, you can definitely spam this, and they will all produce more and more fish. In fact, what I could try, that could be interesting. Let's see if I put up a fisherman's hut. Maybe we'll even risk one that goes back here. So the bridge would be here, and so we're gonna put like a couple here, just to see if we then see citizens pass through this a little bit more. That could be pretty cool. Let's do that. And unemployed wise, we're up to 5. So if I want to, I can just grab the next keep, put 3 villagers in, and then they'll put on the uniform, be on guard. And this is, I like how this looks. This is like a barrier, a fort that is guarding the entrance to my town here, with soldiers coming and going. There's another one coming in. that are ready for any eventuality. Now the final unlock for the Weaponsmith is something that I need to do as well. Maybe I will try to put it down here, as we are producing lots of stuff there. But very happy with this little town. Yeah, unlocking everything this way with all these keeps is a little bit tedious, right? It's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a 7th keep back there with lots of flags. You can see here I did the spam just to up the efficiency a little bit and get to that final unlock. You could make like either a very big fort, or maybe in a different type of map you could try to like surround your city with all of these keeps. Really try and make a defensive perimeter. Perhaps even, you know, have like districts, like a Roman camp that would have gates in and out of different districts. That could be very cool as well, but quite time consuming. And so here I think that's okay. All of this should be pretty safe, as long as we assume that the enemy can only come from this place over here. And then this forest might need to be looked at as well, so that's why we have the extra guard tower here. We do still dip in the red quite often, but if we look at my budget, costs 4,400, consumption 6,800. So yeah, we're doing quite fine at this point. This all, as I've said, is pretty relaxed, decently well balanced, not too big a deal. This one, 125, decently stable. And actually here is where I found some of my harvesters. To my surprise, some of them go quite a long way away to actually grab them. Oh, and that's potentially why. That's a big mistake. They need to be allowed to grab these, of course. So these berries are okay. So are these back here. All of that is looking good. We should be alright. And then unemployed wise, not too much. We might just put in another. Maybe we could do like a whole line of gatherers. But you can see here, yep, they are working on these patches, which is kind of weird. But gatherers huts. Let's start our line here. This could become a very central location for a big berry expansion, and then maybe have more stuff built here. That's possible as well. More people coming in. The Tailor's workshop has been made. Let's assign someone to do this. And then back here, how's this going? Needs a little bit more work, but we'll get that done. No problem. Maybe time to have a bit of a visit for the entire town without all of the zones, just so that we can have a nice look at here. Of course, the secluded island a little bit, right? This is completely surrounded by water, only accessible through one bridge. Nice place to live, I think. Some basic housing, some more advanced housing, and then back here we also have a farm that takes advantage of the edge of the island to build to grow its wheat. And this is also where my Lord's Manor is at, with all of the treasuries. And normally they're off duty right now, but we also have a couple of soldiers on guard. I think they might actually be on the mission. And of course back here the church, and then the tower that is being erected. Then here we have the bridge, decently busy, and this is where we get to the town center. You can see again some wood production, a farm, bread being baked, and another small church with the real town center here. Lots of developed houses, very nice place to live, of course. Some industry in the middle of all of this, and this just keeps going and going along. Definitely like a main avenue here, where we also have our sheep production, and we come across another church with the guard tower. But it just keeps going. A big market, lots of food stalls, lots of places to buy and sell stuff. Then here we come across the first weaponsmith, and then you can take a right towards the final church at the back there, or you can keep along the main road to head towards the mines, where of course we grab our iron. And then if we go even further to the left, it feels like it's a little bit on the outskirts of the city. I love how my monastery looks, to be honest. Lots of places for our monks to live. Here they gather herbs. Then back here we get the vineyards. We're grabbing the grapes, turning that into wine. And then we get the beekeeper here. And through this view is of course a little bit better, but back here we have another whoops, and we do have some artifacts now and then, some black artifacts. As long as you keep it high enough, it's okay. Yeah, a couple of beekeepers that are producing honey as well, very helpful. Some fishermen find their jobs here as well, and then of course we have the defensive line of our town. That's what it's starting to look like. Soldiers training on guards, some builders coming in and out here. Yeah, potentially having that bridge, having some like a less developed basically a part over here could be interesting as hell. But yeah, that's the development of my town, and in the meantime my keep has been built, so that's pretty good. Let's maybe put one soldier here now so he can be on the lookout, and then let's see if I can do the final unlock. So here, wooden tower big, coming soon. Can't unlock that, but I can unlock the weaponsmith, so that's final building, and that is really it here. This is really easy to do, and the fisherman's hut, if there's water on your map, is actually a pretty big deal. Lord's Manor as well, for getting that extra gold and the final trade route. Then after this, not that important, but actually really not that difficult to get. When it comes to the clergy, same thing. Honestly, you need to build enough churches anyways to keep your people happy when it comes to a place of worship. So unlocking that monastery and getting those production cycles going is not a problem. 50 is not that much. But then here for the king, yeah, it's a bit trickier. You need to spam that wooden keep a little bit. And it actually costs a bit of gold and things like that as well for the upkeep, which I'm guessing that this is where their development cycle is basically stuck at. So let's assign the weavers, and then let's build that weaponsmith, of course. Let's see what he uses as well, if I can find it. Iron smelter, blacksmith, tailor's workshop. It's not in this list. Cypress fountain. Nope, should be here. Well, warehouse, weaponsmith, there he is. Okay. Meantime, my soldiers have gone on their mission. We're gonna prioritize this. Polished stone, a bit of planks, a bit of this, and it produces, I'm gonna guess it's gonna produce weapons from all of this stuff. What's it looking like for my tools? That's doing okay, so I think we'll be alright. And then we get a free territory as well for sending out our soldiers. But you can see that is not a big deal either. Yeah, you're making plenty of gold, and I've been able to purchase all of these surrounding territories as well. Could easily, I think, have bought everything at this point. I'm liking how this looks. This wall doesn't really fit, actually. Can I just get rid of that? I think I can. So then it does click away. Yeah, this one is also something that is like still a little bit bugged. With the right clicks I did manage to get rid of that wall. It doesn't fit. I thought maybe it would make for a cool barrier, but nope. Let's assume that my town can keep growing here. And doesn't need that wall. The stone wall also, in my opinion, doesn't look that great. What I haven't looked at is what the large stone wall looks like. We could maybe look for one of these back here. Large stone wall. Let's see. Ooh, that's actually pretty... Ooh. Oh man. And that actually fits well with the keep as well. That looks decently nice, and a big advantage. Where would we put that down? Maybe at the edge here. Something like... Alright, it's doing some... Alright. So, large stone wall, please. Let's start here. And then put that like that, and then towards the water. You can just keep going as well. Let's put it just in the water. But then... what do I need to do? Let's see. Shift left, left click on the wall node, select place. Toggle right click is cancel. Control delete the wall section. So, you know, how do I now say, okay, that's all I wanted. I don't need this final part. I'm not sure what does work is just go for the painting tool. And there we go, we're done. Let's put this back up. Yeah, looks okay. And it actually doesn't cost anything. So you can go crazy with these decorative walls, you could say. And so this, yeah, that's actually a decently nice addition to the border of my... and these are done. Do I have... Oh, I don't even have 2 people available, I don't think. Nope. So we'll have to wait so that our fishermen can find their way here. Yeah, this actually looks okay. Fits decently well with these wooden keeps as well. So you could build a pretty damn nice fort. Do I want to extend that here as well? Maybe we'll keep this little forest area as where we're still building on everything. In the meantime, this needs to get done. And that actually is taking a pretty long time. We'll keep going until we finish that weaponsmith and see how that works out. But yeah, this is quite nice. And I'm actually enjoying this quite a lot. So what would I definitely want to add as well is maybe on some of these places you get some decorations like the road signs, of course. You see you can keep going this way towards the mines or this way towards the tower and then more stuff. I think that does fit pretty well. And yeah, if you want to keep expanding here, for instance, yeah, this final little market will allow me to extend my zoning for living quarters like that. So we could really keep going if we want to. And that's how I've basically been allowing my citizens to make their places to live. And this is the result. Looks somewhat chaotic, but very organic, very cool. And yeah, if you want a relaxed game, I mean, Banished, sure, it's a great game, but this is a bit more sandboxy, a bit more open world, organic, as I've said, and definitely just as fun to play, in my opinion. I'm especially curious to see how they are gonna handle the hunter's hut with wildlife. Would be nice to see some wildlife walking around here as well, maybe dogs and cats and things like that. That would be very cool. Just add a little bit of spice to the environment here. And so that road sign is done, that's good. And then what else was I thinking about? Yeah, of course, if there's ever anything that they're gonna do with these soldiers once they get weapons, can you get into fights, can you get into trouble? That would be pretty cool. Get to unemployed, perfect. Let's put these guys to work. Now all we need is this one. 50 planks, Hans is bringing them. I like how you can go take a look. Oh, does he have the planks in his hands? Doesn't look like it. But there he goes. Heading to the work site, right in front of the monastery. And yeah, no he's not. He changed his mind or something like that. I'm not sure. God damn it. So let's maybe speed this up a little bit. Just to see if we can grab this one more quickly. And maybe see, you know, what's happening in my town. Lots of worshippers. So from time to time you complain about that. But you can see that with churches here, here, here another big one. And then the small ones back there, we are doing just fine. Especially I think the one in the middle of this place will be doing well. And then people are still lacking in the luxury goods which are produced from the monastery. And yeah, just one monastery, even with potentially up to 12 monks, is not that much. It's not that that good. I think the best plan would be to have the 3 monasteries. One like this with 12 capacity for lots of wine production. Then one specialized in beekeeping and one specialized in the herbs. I think that would make the most sense. Now finally, this is moving on. Sophie is building that. Look at how long it's taking though. So this is definitely made as the in development part where we are indeed hitting the final aspects of the game. It is also the final unlock that I did, and you're running into this one coming soon where he can't do anything. So yeah, a clear sign that this is what they still need to do. But it is pretty cool. You can see all these people, especially along that main road to the city center, and then over here the island community. The windmill is turning. Look at this field. I think it looks pretty cool. I like how it organically doesn't grow right up to the trees, but you get a nice field for them. This one is half grabbed, and this one is just started. And I'm not sure if they'll replant this bit next time. But it's definitely pretty cool. Everything in balance. Yep, apparently my number of common clothes are back up after building these extra buildings. So that's working okay. And what I'm lacking, obviously, wine, honey and herbs. These could use, as I said, more production. So the tree monastery idea is probably what's going to help you get that balance going. It does mean a few more people that have to work on that, and so you don't necessarily have a lot of room for your soldiers, but it's definitely working okay. And here we go. We actually have a fisherman that is going out to fish outside of the perimeter. She brings the fish back, so there we go. And then she needs to get back through the checkpoint in order to go to her home. Very cool, I think. Pretty damn nice. In the meantime, almost halfway on the Weaponsmith. Wonder how he works. And here, yeah. Novice male 573 is training hard and keeping an eye on the border there. Cool. Not too difficult actually to get to this point. Just takes a little bit of time. That is definitely true. And well, what after a couple of episodes I was talking about is definitely true as well. It's the same steps again and again, especially when you start a new town. So get some gatherers going, get a little bit of wood production going. You're running into some gold troubles. Try to make the first set of clothes so that you get off your own consumption off the ground. Then go for bread. And then you have to start unlocking stuff through all of the different missions. Hopefully you get fisheries as well. And after that, you can finally start to expand a little bit. And if you want to update everything, I mean, you can, right? You can edit everything if you want to. But that is then a lot of work. And this already, just to get to this point, takes a decent amount of time, to be honest. And so you either start with a really very straight up plan, or you go the chaotic route like I did here. But I don't feel like repeating this endlessly, unless it's probably been a long time. I have a special design in mind, and I need to relax a little bit. Basically, I think this is gonna become a little bit like my banished. This we will not have enough, so I'm gonna keep it all. That doesn't have any bad consequences or anything like that at this point. That's definitely good. And we may, I like the symmetry, so we're actually gonna do that here as well. Large stone wall. Start it right at the edge. And I will just bring that down here. Or maybe like this, so that we have... Or like that. I wonder what will happen to the tree if we go like this. Let's go. And then, yeah. Stop like that. Oh, it just stays. Okay, so that's definitely not considered an actual item there. Well, it looks alright, I think. So I can live with that. And now this is now a nice little fort. Where? Fisherman? This one? Yep, okay. She's going as well. Taking the bridge. Then with the monastery to the left. Ooh, man, here's one of the monks working, well, kind of working on making wine. Maybe he's had a few too many sips or tastes. These guys, though, are working hard on the grapes. That looks pretty nice. And then this one here, well, you don't see a lot. But if I'm not mistaken, it does show, yeah, that they are producing the herbs there as well. So it's pretty nice. And this one is finally... slowly getting there. The final building. A weaponsmith. What's it looking like with my unemployed guys? We got 4 again. And so this toggle resource panel, definitely something that you want in order to find out what you need to prioritize. It would be wine. It would definitely be wine at this point. And here, all right, yeah, maybe yet another church might actually make sense. But where? Perhaps down here somewhere? Let's see what the desirability for living... Oh, it's not... It hasn't expanded that much in this direction as I thought it would. So what I would probably do here... Let's take a quick look at a church. Maybe a core. Maybe we'll just build a small church over here. Give them just a door. A very simple door. Yeah, that'll work. You do want a tower, but this time we'll also just do a small tower. Go up a little bit, like that. Yeah, this is gonna be a very simple church. Arch, cross, extension B, looks like that. So, should I try... Alright, we'll add 2 extensions, which I think increases the capacity a little bit. But that looks okay, actually. Kinda like it. We'll put a cross here. And one right at the entrance. There we go. An arch, we don't need it. Small tower, we got one. Okay. Stained glass, I've never really been able to see any use of that. So I'm not sure exactly. Can I put that on here, for instance? No. I wonder what I would be able to put on that. What about a gargoyle? Nope, has to be on something. Yeah, not sure how to use that one. But let's start that construction. And then what we want as well is to try and encourage people to actually come and live in this direction. So we'll also put down a well next to the church. In the meantime, the weaponsmith is done. We can get rid of this view. And let's take a look at that. Assign 1 blacksmith. It uses iron, coal, tools, and weapons. Oh no, that's just the stash of it, I think. So all of that should actually be decently close. Right, we got, look at that. Except for the iron itself. So it does consume tools, that's quite okay. Yeah, actually my wood production is not doing too well. We should definitely try and increase this guy's efficiency. So let's put this camp over here. And what I've maybe neglected a little bit at the tail end are the warehouses, but markets are a great place to store stuff anyway. So food, for instance, you don't need to, I think, set up warehouses for food. Just use the markets for that. At most, I would say, yeah, for if you want that reserve of potentially wood or the iron economy, that's what I think most of the storage is going to be used for. Because you only, at this point, I still only have really one area for mines. So basically, if I want to like build tools around here, that's why I put up this warehouse to gather the raw materials. And let's see if he makes, yeah, he's got his first weapon. That also becomes part of the quests. And I wonder if they actually like grab weapons or not. Because here are my soldiers, who can still use some. That's 3 of them that can go train. They're doing alright. There we go. My army is growing. And... right, 3 in reserve. Is that something that could be sold? Let's see. On my market. So, for the food, obviously... these are all the slots. Then, nope, you can't really do much more than what I've got here. So, what I could probably do is trade for them. Trade routes. These guys do buy weapons for 50 gold. That is a decent amount of gold. So, basically, what you would want to do is take one of these slots, put in the weapons, and then probably decide to sell above 20 or something like that. And that will then be a steady flow of gold as well. He makes them decently quickly, and it's kind of weird. I mean, you can see them right there, but my soldiers at this point are not grabbing them. Generally speaking, they seem to be decently happy. And yeah, that is foundation up to this point, guys. Yeah, keep in mind this is still early access, so still subject to change, definitely in development, but definitely a lot of fun so far. I think you can tell from the number of hours that I've spent in the game already. I think it's a worthwhile purchase, especially if you get it at a discount on Steam during one of the sales or something like that. But I think even at full price, it's quite okay, and I can see the replayability. It's definitely fun to go through all the different maps, just to have an idea of what that looks like. All of them have potentially very different towns that you can build in them, with different teams and ideas for you to develop, and it's very cool. Look at that, they're actually expanding in this direction, I think mostly thanks to this market. Here we go, building more houses, and then this church is gonna be in the perfect spot for the people that are still lacking in a place of worship. And yeah, I'm not sure, perhaps I'll leave it at this for foundation for now and get back to the game when I need to relax a little bit, or if I feel like it, I may keep developing this town, maybe start another map or something like that. We will see, but I've enjoyed my time with the game so far a hell of a lot. And these guys, yep, let's get rid of you. Now we can also clean this up just a little bit. Like that. And that is how you basically clear out the land to make room for the houses for your town. And it's pretty cool, as I said, definitely a lot of fun. Up to you to decide whether or not you want to take a look at it. Perhaps you might want to wait for full development. I am not sure how much is going to still be added to the game, or when, or if that's even going to happen. Of course, that's always a little bit of a risk when it comes to an early access game, but I can see the potential, and even the current build, to me at least, is a lot of fun. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you next time.